You know what they say about a man with big feet? He needs big boots. Hi, Tony here and welcome to another accessory install. One of the minor problems I've encountered with my Tiger 800 XCA is that Triumph had fitted as standard the wider adventure pegs. Nothing wrong with that, they're great pegs, good platform, great for standing up on, precisely what I would fit. The problem is there was no concession made to the length of the shifter. Because the foot peg is wider, obviously the gap between the edge of that peg and the shifter button is shorter. It's fine when I was wearing short boots when the weather was better. As the weather gets colder, or if I'm venturing where I know it's going to be wet and muddy, I'll switch to my TCX drifters, and I was finding that it was a bit awkward to actually get your toe under the shifter. Now obviously there is a simple solution, and that's just move it around on the pivot so that it's actually physically a little bit higher and you've got more space. I did think about doing that, but you also then have the issue where that shifter is then in a higher place. I like the positioning of it, I just needed that little bit more room, and obviously if you move it up to give you more room to get underneath it, you've got to flex your foot more to be able to push it down. I know we're only talking about millimeters, but that can make a difference when you're riding. So I had a quick look through the Triumph accessory range, and they do make an alternative shifter for the bike. The problem is that although it has a folding peg, it's not any longer, it doesn't really solve the problem. So I had a look around on the marketplace to see if there was a solution, and I came up with this. This is the SW-Motech adjustable gear lever. So you've got the benefits of having a folding peg for safety. If you drop the bike, it's not going to put any undue strain on the shifter mechanism itself, but it's also adjustable for length. And I thought this was the perfect thing to put on the bike, so let's give it a go. Very briefly, here's what comes in the kit. This beautifully machined lever with the bushing in place, the machined aluminium peg, which has obviously got the spring on it, and then the fitting kit, the couple of bolts, a nut and a new union joint, as well as a pretty comprehensive instruction manual for what is a simple job. First things first, to gain access to the lever, this diddle heel guard needs to come off. 2 T40 screws here will get this out of the way. And then at this point you can attach the bits and pieces to the shifter itself. So just a bolt through here with a nut on the back. Leave that loose for the time being, so that gives you the opportunity to then move that into position you want before you tighten it. And then you've got a bolt on the back with the union joint as well. Don't forget to use thread lock on both of these. And these two nuts are both tightened to 6 Newton meters. Then you can go ahead, undo this nut and disconnect the shift rod. And just remember to re-grease this when you reassemble. Now when it comes to removing this, undo that lock nut to get that out of the way. And then you can just, if I do it the right way around, you can then just unscrew, he says it's quite a long thread, there you go. And then that can all stay as one single part if you want to change it back. I'll just clean this up, maybe put a little bit of copper slip on it. Obviously you've got a lock nut, so you don't necessarily need to have thread lock on there. That would be sufficient. And then it's just a simple case of screwing this back on, putting the bolt through, which you've remembered to re-grease, bit of thread lock on there, set it in the position that you want, tighten everything up, and then you can go ahead with adjusting this here. Really is that simple. Just a little smear of copper slip there to stop that from seizing up. Of course, before you tighten everything up, it's worthwhile just putting that pin in loosely and just making the adjustments by screwing this in and out as to where you want that level to be. Then once you're happy with that and you've checked it all out, you can then tighten everything up. And this shifter pivot bolt is tightened to 22 Newton meters. Don't forget to snug this lock nut down with your 10mm spanner. And then after a quick clean up, the heel guard can go back on. I haven't looked up the torque setting for these because it's only holding on the plastic heel cover, so it's just to nip it up so that it's tight. And there you go, that is the job done. You've got a very nice looking unit, really nicely machined, so aesthetically it looks good. It's lighter than the old steel version. Obviously you've got the benefit of this folding peg as well as that adjustability. There you have it, relatively simple job to fit one of these. It's a really nicely finished and nicely made piece of kit, and it looks the part on the bike. Not only does it look the part, but it's also very practical. I hope you found the video useful. There will be a few more Tiger accessory videos coming through, and also there is hopefully a new longer term project that may be coming along soon, which leans more back towards the retro side. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And all that leaves me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.